Hello there, can you hear me okay? Right, let's go then. Let's get you warmed up on the guitar. Okay, first let's check the frets and strum bar. Those coloured buttons at the top of the neck are your fret buttons, and the strum bar is what you strum up and down to make noise. So let's check your tuning. Go ahead and press down a fret button and then strum up and down a few times while holding the button down. Then do that with each individual button. Excellent, everything sounds good. Okay, now we're going to make sure you can read the music all right. Here's the track coming towards you. Can you see that okay? And these are the notes. In order to play them, first you hold down the fret button that matches the note, so hold down the green when you see green, and so on. And then when that note crosses the target at the bottom of the track, you strum to play it. You mustn't forget to strum. Make sense? Good. So let's warm up a bit, not as scary as it seems. Play the notes as they cross the target at the bottom of the track. Well done, that sounds good. Okay, let's practice a bit more. Get you ready to play a song. Can you play along with this track, please? It'll be a bit more difficult than before. Nicely done. Starting to sound really good. Let's move on to the harder stuff now. Right then, let's move on to sustained notes. These are sustained notes. They start off like any other note, but the trick is after you've strummed, you need to keep that fret button held down until the sustain is over. Don't let go too early. We really want to extend the note to the end. Ready to try? Rolling. Here we go. Well done. Sounds great. Now let's warm up your chord playing. Don't get nervous. Chords are just like single notes, except that you have to play more than one at a time. Just hold down all the fret buttons that match and then strum to play the chord. Okay, give me some chords and I'll get a level. Terrific, that sounds really good. So now we're going to go over some of the elements you'll need to be aware of on your screen. This is called the performance meter. We use it to measure how perfectly you're playing. The little guitar icon is you. Now, if you're doing really great, your icon will climb to the top. And if you're having a bit of an off day, your icon will drop. If things start blinking red, then that means you're having major technical difficulties and we might have to stop the take. So if the meter is blinking red, it's time to focus. Over here we've got your score. The better you play, the higher your score and the more stars you earn. You'll also see how many stars you've earned so far and how close you are to getting your next star. There are other elements to think about clearly, but we'll save them for our next session. Well done. We're all set with the guitar now. Sounds great. Nice work today and good luck. Hi, welcome back. Ready to get to work? We're going to make sure you've warmed up on all the tricky bits today. Alright then, let's just warm up with some simple note playing. If you want to play a stretch of notes that are all the same, you can keep the fret button held down and just strum the strum bar every time you want to play that note. Okay, let's give it a go. Excellent, sounds good. So the next bit we'll focus on is how to drive your audience wild. This meter fills up whenever you play one of these glowing phrases without making a mistake. So whenever you see one of these special glowing phrases, try to play it as perfectly as you can. Make sense then? Alright, go ahead and give it a go. Very well done indeed. Now let's talk about the whammy bar. The whammy bar can be rotated to a position that is easy for you to access while you're playing. To use the whammy bar, push it towards the body of the guitar. If you whammy a sustained note in one of those special glowing phrases I mentioned, your meter will fill even faster. Go ahead and try whammying a sustained note. Yes, just keep moving that whammy bar. Great, sounds terrific. Right, now let's talk about how you can really command the crowd. Now, as you can see, thanks to whammying, your meter is at least half full, which means that you have the option to use it to send the crowd into a state of Beatlemania. All you have to do is tilt the neck of the guitar upwards into the air and continue to play. You'll know it worked because the crowd will be screaming and you'll be getting loads of points. As well as extra points, when the crowd is going mad, they will just adore everything you're doing. So it works wonderfully if you're having a bit of an off night. But be sure to use this power wisely because it doesn't last forever. And if you happen to have a bandmate who isn't performing at their best, you can use this trick to distract the crowd. It can be quite a useful skill to master. You can even use this technique to bring a bandmate back on stage who hasn't managed to make it through the whole song. Alright, let's try a bit of showmanship. Tilt that guitar up in the air. Nice. Well done. Great. Just one last thing I want you to practice, and that's your solos. Depending on what type of guitar you've got, there may be an extra set of 5 frets near the body of the guitar. If you've got them, you can play those during a solo and not bother strumming at all. Just press the fret buttons. Easy. This solo indicator will show you how well you're playing. The more accurate, the better, obviously. Alright, let's try a solo. Right, that sounds great. Well done. Things are sounding really good. See you back in here soon. Good luck. Hi, welcome back. We've got you all set up for our session today. We'll be working on your more technical skills to make sure everything is in order. Let's get you practicing how to shift your hand while you're playing. Now, as you know, since there are 5 fret buttons, you sometimes have to move your whole hand to hit a note because your fingers won't stretch that far. So if there are a whole bunch of high notes coming up, then shift your hand position so that your index finger is on the red fret instead of on the green one. And then when you see those low notes coming, just shift your hand back so that your index finger is touching the green fret again. Got it? Okay, let's try that out. that sounds great. Let's move on. Alright, now we'll be working on something that looks tricky, but it's not too bad really. Okay, have a look at this. Just watch and don't bother playing yet. Stand by. I've got a studio trick for you that I want you to learn for this. Whenever you're playing, only the highest held down fret matters. So for this example, just hold down the green fret and keep it held down with your index finger. Then press down, strum, and release the red fret with your middle finger to play the next note. Even though you'll have two frets held down, only the highest one matters. So instead of playing it like this, play it like this. See what I mean? Alright, let's make sure you've got that nailed. Hold down the green fret, then while you strum, just worry about pressing and releasing the red fret. Strum each time a note passes the target at the bottom of the screen. Please remember to keep the green fret held down while strumming. Perfect, that sounds really good. Now let's make sure you've got your hammer-ons and pull-offs warmed up. This is just another little studio trick to help you play faster. When there's a bunch of really fast single notes, all you have to do is strum the first note and fret the rest. So you just play a note as usual and then quickly press the next fret button without strumming to change notes. You can keep pressing more frets to keep changing notes. You'll be able to distinguish a note that you can hammer on because it will appear smaller on the track than a regular note. Can we give a hammer on a go, please? It will make things much easier in the long run. Right, well done. I should mention that pull-offs are just hammer-ons in reverse. Instead of hammering on, you pull off. No problem for a pro like you. Okay, I think we're ready for the final warm-up. Let's have you play along and warm up all your different techniques, okay? Don't worry, you can do it. Ready? Here we go. Great, that sounds really good. Okay, thanks. Everything sounds good. And you're warmed up on all of the tricks of the trade. You're ready to go and make some beautiful music, I'd say. Good luck.